Um, it bothered me a little bit because I had never thought about being a business partner with Natasha. I thought Natasha was a great real estate agent, but I had concerns about her being a business partner of mine. Because in my past career in business and administration and in HR, one of my skills is to be able to pinpoint other people's weaknesses and strengths and then nurture them within the workforce. Entrepreneurship and leadership were not something that I was comfortable sharing with a partnership. Some of those were my own trust issues. Some of them were valid concerns. However, that wasn't my decision to make. If Andrew wanted to take on 2 new partners, that was his decision. All I knew is that I was more than likely going to do it. And so we were supposed to meet at this restaurant downtown. Natasha decided to come along too, because at this point she decided that if I was going to do it, she was going to do it. And she said verbatim, "I'm doing this because of you, because I believe in you." It wasn't Andrew who she believed in, it was me. And so we went to the business meeting and everything. And Andrew decided that he liked the vibe between Natasha and I. We were friends. And he felt like it might work if he had 2 partners instead of 1. And so he communicated to me that his intention was to have 1 real estate business partner and himself, but he changed his mind once he saw the dynamic between Natasha and I, and we became a throuple. And that is how the Winning Team Realty, our brokerage, became about. It was just supposed to be Andrew and I, but Andrew decided that he liked the dynamic with Natasha. Now I'm going to jump ahead and I'm going to let you guys know that Natasha and I are no longer friends. So you will not see me on the farm anymore. You won't see me with the animals. And that's okay. Now it's okay. So I had to give you guys that up front before I finish the story. So you guys know how I have invested myself into the business because it has taken me away from you guys. The way our business model was set up unofficially was that Andrew is the developer. Natasha has been a real estate agent for about 20 years, and I have been a real estate agent for about 2 years now. It'll be 2 years in October. When you have a little bit more tenure in real estate, you do real estate easier. It's easier for you to have clientele because you've been in the game for so long than it is for someone like me. And so the dynamic was that I set up the business. I am the back end. I create the business. Andrew was one of our initial investors. So he would pay for things like our business license. He would pay for those things. And I was the registered agent for the business. So I created it, the Winning Team Realty. I created the entity. And Natasha, her position was to bring in the business, bring in the clients, bring in the sales. As I was focused on the back end of the business, Natasha was out there in the field still doing deals. And that's the way things work between us. I had planned on getting back into the sales part and prospecting once the business was established. And that's just how that was supposed to work out. And it, in my opinion, had been working out great. Against my better judgment, I struck up a personal relationship with one of my business partners. And I thought it was going to be amazing because I had just did some Venus juju on myself, and then he showed up. And he showed up the right way. And I entertained the idea a little bit. It was fun. It wasn't that serious. It was business and pleasure, to be honest. And I was okay with that for the time being because, I don't mind taking things slow and having fun and all of that good stuff. And I'm not a really emotional girl off rip. I am usually strictly business first. And even if we're dating, if you think that I am going to be the girl that's going to be head over heels in love with you, and chase you and be really clingy, you're in for a rude awakening. Even if I do catch feelings or fall in love with you, you may never know. Because I have to mentally get there before I feel safe being vulnerable. So I can love you, but I could tell myself to keep my feelings to myself. And, I may never tell you I love you. Unless we engage each other that way. And we hadn't gotten to that point, Andrew and I, to where we were like that. We were just having fun and establishing a business, and it was good. But somewhere along the line, some red flags start popping up in the business and the personal. Even with Natasha, even with my personal relationship with Natasha, I had some concerns that I overlooked because I felt like Natasha loved me. And you guys saw our dynamic. And it was difficult for me to get to the point of closeness that I had with Natasha because of my trust issues. And I've dealt with betrayal in friendships in the past, and I've had a really rough life. So I struggled in the first, 6 months of my relationship with Natasha because I didn't want to trust her. But I did. I took a leap of faith because she didn't give me any reasons not to. Maybe she did, but I thought that I'm used to blaming myself and being really critical on myself. So sometimes even if somebody displays some unsavory behaviors towards me, before I blame them, I might check myself first and think, well, am I tripping? Should I be less critical? Should I, wipe that, let that be water under the bridge? And there were things that were really concerning to me about my friendship with Natasha that I chose to overlook because for me, the good outweighed the bad. And I was trying to challenge myself to let love into my life because historically I have been closed off to it as a defense mechanism, a trauma response. But I wanted to start feeling love. And Natasha love-bombed me. She would tell me how amazing I am. She would tell me, you guys have heard her share. The videos are still up. You guys know how our friendship was. And so I believe Natasha loved me. Well, somewhere along the line, I believe that love and admiration turned into something else. And I'll just say this to you guys. When someone praises you so much, user JK3EM9VH10, I just saw you comment and it seemed like it was compassionate and sweet. I don't know who you are, but thank you for your comment. Thank you for your engagement. And it looked like your comment was really sweet and kind and compassionate. So thank you. God bless you and I love you. Where was I? Oh, when anyone gives you too much credit, when someone puts you on a pedestal that you didn't ask to be on and they make you a deity in their life, always remember that at some point they're going to want their power back, even if you didn't ask for it, even if someone gave you their power. If someone gives you all the credit for all the growth that they've experienced in their life, and they're so anxious to tell everybody, this person did this for me, at some point, that person make it tired of you being the main character in their life, and they're going to want to be the main character in their life, in their own life, even if you didn't ask to be their main character. This is the dynamic that we had, and it used to concern me because I knew at some point all the praise and glory that Natasha gave me was going to turn into envy. And I used to tell her and remind her when she would be talking to people and giving me credit for things, I would tell her, thank God for that. Don't thank me. Thank God for that. I'm just a vessel. Thank yourself for that. You did the work. No, but if it wasn't for you, that always made me uncomfortable, because at some point a person is going to want to have their own power, and they're going to want to take it back, even if you didn't ask for it. That's what happened. Natasha got so confident around me. She, did a lot of pulling from my energy and my personality, and I love that. I love to see her blossom. I love to see her for the powerhouse that I saw her as, someone worthy of their own legacy, of their own self-esteem and their own confidence. I missed the part where that was turning into something else. Andrew and I began to bump heads. I had concerns about the way the business was being handled with my partners. I had concerns about professionalism. I had concerns that we would do janky business, and I don't do business that way. I came into that partnership as Wealth with Adina, and I came with my own business model. And my concern with having partners is that I can't control the way everybody operates in business. I have a certain professionalism and ethic that I work by, and that came from not just me being a natural businesswoman, but my background in business, HR and business administration. I've had experiences working with very small companies who ran things like they were a small business, but they were doing bigger business, and they just never got the memo that it was time to not operate like a small business anymore. And so I found my niche in business, working with small businesses and being able to pinpoint cracks in the foundation, or when it was time to initiate a new way to operate that supported the growth of the business. I'm a visionary, so I can always look into the future and then see where we're going, and then look at where we are now, and then create steps to, move forward and be able to scale the right way. They used to call me in to, they say, fix the cracks in a business. And I would say, I don't fix cracks. I fix the foundation. I don't put Band-Aids. If there's a crack, we're going to redo the whole foundation so that it's not a crack. We're not just, putting tape, a bandage over something. We're going to heal it. Because if you continue to grow a business on patched up cracks, the weight of the growth of the business is going to be too heavy for even the cracks to sustain. Even if we put cement on it, at some point, if the foundation isn't solid, those cracks are going to show because of the weight of the growth of the business. So I believe in redoing the whole foundation of the business to make it solid so that it can sustain growth, and we don't have to continue going back and putting patches on cracks or putting out fires because the foundation is solid. That is the niche that I created in business. And in my own business, Natasha's background was never entrepreneurship. She's always been under another leader, and that works for her. No shade, but not everybody is a strong leader. but everybody has strengths. I'm not a strong salesperson, but I'm a strong businesswoman. I'm a strong leader. Those are the positions I play. I'm not going to swerve in your lane if you are a great salesperson. Please do the sales. Bring the clients in. I will create the entity for you, the business for you to be able to do your business on. And I liked that I could watch the way Natasha handled her clients and how she was able to establish relationships with her clients that gave her continued business. She had the patience of Job for the most difficult clients. I ain't got that kind of patience. And so I learned that from her. I like to say I learned how to love from Natasha, because she was always so open to love and the idea of love. And I wanted to be more like that and be less closed off. I wanted to be more softer. And I learned that from her. And I applied that even to my clients when I did get them. I practiced more patience and things like that. So